Hey, welcome to So Awkward. It's me, Don. It's about 6:20 in the morning. I'm here in the parking lot of the Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota, because I'm about to go see Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I'm a Star Wars fan. Grew up as a Star Wars fan. I'm a 38-year-old man now. I'm not as excited as everybody else on the internet seems to be, but I like Star Wars, and it looks like a fun movie, and I'm hoping it'll be a fun movie. But yeah, let's go check it out. It's not going to be sold out, right? 7 o'clock. Anybody who was all that interested went to the midnight showing, right? Just crazy people like me who are up at the crack of dawn anyway are here. Because two things wake up this early: Donald and the Force.
You're watching So Awkward. This is Freddy Krueger saying hi.
Well, I guess now I'm excited. It's toasty. Anyway, so I just saw Star Wars: The Force Awakens. As I said, I didn't have high hopes. It's been so long since the last good Star Wars movie, which was probably Empire Strikes Back in 1980. Return of the Jedi was okay. I enjoyed it. Not a huge J.J. Abrams fan. I think those Star Trek movies are terrible. Super 8 was boring. So I had really low expectations. This movie met those expectations. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't a bad movie necessarily, but I didn't really like it. I was bored. The story really didn't grip me. The new characters weren't all that interesting, and the returning characters didn't have that much to do other than simply to return. There was a lot I did like about it. The special effects were great. The music's always fun. The space battles, which actually weren't space battles, but the battles in general were great. I liked all the ships. I liked a lot of the performances by the actors. John Boyega, I think that's his name, who plays Finn. I didn't like Finn as a character. I thought it was a really poorly written, ill thought out character, but Boyega he gave a great performance. He had so much energy and enthusiasm. He went all out. He was really trying. Poe Dameron was boring, although the actor seemed like he was probably a good actor. He tried. Rey was boring. The actress was boring. It was nice seeing Han and Leia again. I liked all of their scenes together. It was really sweet. But as a whole, the movie just didn't really come together for me. I was mostly bored and ready for it to be over. A lot of that might be that I'm a jaded 38-year-old man and Star Wars has moved on. And partly it's just because it wasn't a very good film. I'm going to keep this quick because I know a lot of people are going to love this movie, as well they should. If you're a Star Wars fan, there's a lot to like about it because there's lots of Star Wars references. This is basically Star Wars reference, Star Wars reference, Star Wars reference. If you're not a Star Wars fan, you'll be bored because it's not that good. I would describe this movie as a really, really great Star Wars fan film. At least this is the best Star Wars fan film there ever is because they had a huge budget and you could see the budget. But ultimately, like Star Wars fan films, just the magic was missing. There was just something hollow about it and it felt false. And it felt like as a continuation, this is not where anybody thought it would go. We're back to the state of the universe basically before the first Star Wars film. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but that was disappointing. Just, the Empire's back. They've still got all these stormtrooper uniforms, so I guess they have to use them. There's a scene in the movie, and I'm not going to give any spoilers, where they meet Han Solo, and they say, "Han Solo!" And he goes, "I used to be." It's like, well, you're wearing the same outfit. You've got the same blaster. So you can't have it both ways. And this movie doesn't have it both ways. Wearing the same outfit, but it doesn't feel like Star Wars. I blame a lot on J.J. Abrams, who I don't think is a very good filmmaker. Do you remember that scene in the first terrible Star Trek movie he directed where Spock maroons Kirk on this random planet in the middle of the galaxy, and he lands on the planet and he gets in this battle with this monster and he runs into this random cave, and Spock just happens to be in that cave on that random planet in that random sector of the galaxy? That's this entire movie. If you watch the trailer, you're like, oh, how is Han Solo? And they got the lightsaber and the Millennium Falcon. I wonder how this is all going to come together. I'm not going to spoil anything, but the reason all of that comes together is plot. J.J. Abrams doesn't tell stories. He strings plot contrivances and coincidences together. This movie, it's embarrassing how many plot points, I might even say every plot point in development is some huge coincidence where they just randomly come across a character or an artifact. It's not very well written or structured, in my opinion. So that kept me from really caring about what little story there was. It was basically just a remake of the first Star Wars movie, where that movie had charm and characters we cared about. This one relied on the charm and characters from the first trilogy that we cared about. It didn't really give anything for us really to care about in a new way. Or me, anyway. One of the flaws in the original trilogy and in every part of the Star Wars mythos is that people who train for years in the Force are no better at it than people who just learned they had the Force a week ago. And this movie takes that to a ridiculous extreme. There are 2 lightsaber battles in this movie. They're so ridiculous. You'll watch them and be like, this makes absolutely no sense. How is this happening? But anyway, yeah, it was neat. I would describe this movie as neat. It feels like Star Wars, but there was just something missing for me. It may be that I'm older and more critical of the flaws that certainly were in the original trilogy. By no means are those perfect films. I think this movie just lacked the heart and charm of the first few films. And that's really all I have to say about that. I have nothing else to talk about. Oh, this robe? You're wondering where I got this robe? Before the movie, they had some Star Wars trivia, and I won this Darth Vader robe and these R2-D2 slippers. I'm not bragging, but after I kept answering, they had to tell me to stop, and so other people could win. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope I didn't ruin the internet.